This episode of the Tomahawk Podcast is proudly brought to you by www.pcwentertainment.com for all information on shows, training, and everything PCW, including that brand new VIP program. You can go to www.pcwentertainment.com.
You're a superstar.
This is Trikki, and welcome to the Tomahawk
and Mozzie
Podcast. That is Cass Stone, the official co-host.
Official now.
That's right, of the Tomahawk Podcast. And
Mozzie Bite.
Well, it's debatable because you said to me, you said, hey, now I'm a co-host. You know, how about we change the name to the Tomahawk and Mozzie Bite?
But I think something that would actually sound a bit better is if we go the Mozzie Bite and Tomahawk Podcast.
I think we should just stick with the Tomahawk Podcast. I just think that makes the most sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, if we added Mozzie Bite, like, you know, we could get the stretch of New Zealand with us as well.
The stretch of New Zealand, or they'd just be like, hey man, it's nice that, you know, Trikki's given Cass a job to do, get him, you know, a bit of an outreach.
But then
they could get onto
the exclusiveness of the
It's already exclusive.
Mozzie Bite and Tomahawk
It's on
Podcast.
TrikkiTube.com. If you are listening to this, you have found it through TrikkiTube.com, unless it's like, you know, we've become a big success and all our stuff's being reproduced. But
by someone special.
But yeah, man, I'm someone special.
You do something special.
But no, this is really cool. You guys have joined us on a fun episode because, well, they're all fun episodes.
We're currently driving.
But we're currently driving. We're in a car.
We're heading out, reaching out to the people.
We are, because everyone who has put out flyers from milk bars to retailers, people who are supporting the show.
Carnage, that is, September 12th.
September 12th, PCW Carnage, the biggest one of the year. We're going out and we're shaking their hands and it's basically saying thank you. So it doesn't stop for us, does it, Cass?
We never stop, and just like it's getting pretty close for you to Carnage, you getting ready for it?
Can't stop, won't stop, don't stop, man. That's my philosophy on things. And it's just spot on, man. PCW State Championship shot against the Nightmare Chris Trio. Yeah, man, he's a hell of an opponent as well. He's very scary. He's actually just done some world training. He's been over and he's been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So what once was known as an absolute powerhouse might be a bit of a python to deal with. He'll wrap himself around me and try and choke me to death. I don't know.
Yeah, you may not be watching for that, the rack bomb. You might be looking for a submission.
Yeah, it could be a real element of surprise, and it's a little bit scary. It's a different Chris Trio I'll be facing than the ones I have faced in the past.
Yeah, definitely. And you've all been doing video promos leading into it?
We have. It's actually been quite full on down at PCW because every night when training is going down, we've got different faces dropping. Everyone from Chris Trance to Daniel Swagger, Mark Cage, everyone is sort of coming through and cutting their promos. There's been a lot of awkwardness as well because these people are brushing past each other as they're putting the promos together, and it's getting quite intense down at PCW. But leading into Carnage, it's quite an intense atmosphere anyway, because everyone does want to really step it up.
And it's the biggest show.
That's right. It's the one that you want to be on. And it's the one that really kick-started PCW in the first place to the next level.
And even so, if you look after Carnage, there's another show that's coming up.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got the big one for PCW Slammers is PCW Destiny, which is on the 31st. That's actually Halloween, but before
the first person qualifying.
That's right. We got the Road to Destiny, and at Destiny, one of the big deals is there's actually a ladder match, and in this ladder match, you can actually get a full-time contract for 12 months, a full-time PCW. And yeah, we had someone advance. Now there was a main event, and it was between Stevie Philippe and
this certain person.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember him either, but he's such a great wrestler.
I don't know about that, but he did win. He did win. I remember.
Oh, and he used this move that will beat the Tomahawk if they ever face again. That's right. It was the Mozzie Cass Stone.
Oh, it's the Mozzie Cass Stone. Of course, I forgot the name.
And he used the Mozzie Bite to beat, well, not the Tomahawk in this situation, but if they were to face, it would be
the Felipe.
Stevie Philippe.
The FP.
It's the brother of Tone.
No, it was the SP. What's his finisher called? SF. Yeah, Stevie's finisher. Not the Stevie Philippe.
Yeah, it's the Stevie's finisher.
Yeah, man. It's Tone Philippe's brother, and you've advanced to PCW Destiny. How does that feel? That's a big win.
It's actually quite awesome because I remember last year I actually got 3 opportunities at getting into this ladder match, and unfortunately I was unsuccessful in each of them, or due to distractions because, you know.
Well, it's a little bit like what happened to Leighton Hewitt today in the tennis. He had 2 match points and he just blew it all and choked. And that was an awful game. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was to Bernard Tomic. God.
But yeah, it is really awesome. Going back to our point of the Destiny ladder match.
Sorry, I'm really hooked on the fact that Leighton Hewitt lost. He was 2 sets up and 2 match points, and then he lost to Bernard Tomic. Are you kidding me? I like Leighton, but come on, man. I was really behind you today.
Well, how about we change subjects again?
No, sorry. It's just the fact that, you know, you'd advanced to the ladder match, and I kind of heard it all before.
Oh, okay. Well, how about we talk?
No, it's very cool, dude. It's you've advanced. It's a very big deal because it'll be cool having you on full time at PCW, and I wish you best of luck. But you're gonna have your work cut out for you because there's 3 spots available in that ladder match, and you don't know who you're up against.
Yeah.
Later in this episode, I can say right now, later in this episode, we will announce the main event of PCW Slam, and that is 134.
Yep, 134.
And that'll be on the 19th.
On the 19th
of September, that's right. And we will be later in this show announcing who's going to be in the main event.
And one of those competitors will advance against me.
And yep, that's right. They'll meet you and 2 other people who we don't know.
In a ladder match.
Could be anyone.
How about we change gears here?
Okay.
I've got something interesting.
Are you talking about PCWentertainment.com, VIP?
We could be talking about that.
Well, that sounds to me exactly where you're going, because is this where, you know, you get mail outs, ticket giveaways, all that kind of stuff?
Free merchandise.
Yeah, man. And it's like, what, you're telling me it costs 000?
Just 000.
Don't dial that number.
Yeah, because
absolutely free to join the PCW VIP program. www.pcwentertainment.com/VIP. Pretty cool, Castonar. Nice little segue.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Smooth, man. You didn't even see that coming.
I did not see it coming at all, because what I was talking about was something that comes straight out of somewhere else. Straight out of Compton.
Straight out of Compton. Crazy named Ice Cube.
Yeah, there we go. Keeping it PG.
With Attitude.
Yeah, People with Attitude. We'll go with.
People with Attitude.
PWA. Anyway.
People with Attitude.
Wednesday night, I went to the premiere of the movie Straight Outta Compton.
Man, this movie actually looks really good. I haven't seen it yet. I have not seen this movie yet, and I'm actually very excited.
And it's quite funny because I remember I watched a trailer and I told you about it, and you're like, don't do it. Don't watch the trailer.
Don't watch the trailer.
Because you don't want to spoil anything for you. And after that, I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't watch any more trailers. And I was quite glad I didn't, because this movie is actually amazing.
Did you go back and watch the trailer to see how much it actually spoils?
Yeah, I've watched the trailer like 3 times after, just trying to reminisce on the movie, because it was actually so good. Like, there's movies where I'll say, yeah, it was awesome, but like really through the movie I was like, you know, on my phone or something, quickly checking a message.
Oh, like the Avengers 2.
Yeah. But this movie...
I had no idea what was going on in Avengers 2.
Yeah, but with this movie, I was just hooked to it. Constantly, like, from the start of the movie to the end of the movie.
Well, the interesting thing about this movie, it's been like 10 years in production.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
And one of the big key things of it was, I know that Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, obviously they're 2 of the producers of the film.
Yep.
They wanted to make sure it was so authentic. They wanted to make sure it was so authentic that they even approved all the clothes that were being worn, every scene, making sure it was just like it happened in their minds.
Well, I also heard that Dre, he didn't actually want to do the movie because he thought it would ruin the legacy of NWA. And then after he had read the script that Q must have done, or like must have helped out.
And that dude's a hell of a movie producer as well.
Yeah,
Ice Cube.
definitely so.
All the Friday films.
Yeah.
And...
But after he'd saw it, he gave it the okay, and he's like, this is gonna be something.
And hey, you know, Dr. Dre, he kind of knows how to make money.
He definitely does.
You know, when he
released his new album, Compton.
Yeah, he released all the Beats headphones, so he's officially certified billionaire.
Pretty much so. But definitely a movie to go watch.
And that's the thing. I when we were talking about this before, you said, "Listen, I'm really excited about Straight Outta Compton. I'd love to talk about it on the podcast. And I said, look, just don't give anything away. Because the one thing I hate is, as we just talked about, you know.
The only thing No, I'm only joking.
I hate seeing the previews, but the one thing I do want to know, I want to know if it's worth seeing. Is this worth seeing?
Of course so. Like, definitely a solid 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, that's...
Eazy-E's character played him so well. Dre's character, Cube, everyone had their characters to it. Like, when you're watching it, there's not a single character you're there like, that person should not be there. Should not be playing that character.
And hey man, it's great to hear that Straight Outta Compton was a awesome film. I'm really excited to see it. But I actually saw a movie of my own, Cass.
Yeah, what movie did you see?
It's actually one from 2014. It's actually I'm gonna say this to you, Cass. Ask me what my most favourite action film is.
Trikki, who throws a tomahawk that is not as powerful as the Mozzie bite. What is your most favourite action movie?
I don't know. I don't have one. Like, I guess, you know, maybe, what's the one with Jason Statham?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's probably something with Jason Statham, and I'm going to go for that. But I didn't have a favourite action film until I saw the movie John Wick. It's got Keanu Reeves, and I don't want to spoil the plot, because, like, if you're going to watch this film, I suggest it's probably best going in not watching the preview, because I think the preview will completely give away the storyline. And I think there's a bit of shock at the start with the storyline.
I actually haven't heard about this movie.
Yeah, it's amazing. Apparently it was made on a low budget. They had a budget of like 20 million, so it doesn't sound that low, but apparently to a Hollywood blockbuster, it's a pretty low budget. And it ended up pulling about 74 million, so it did it did well. And so I got put onto this by a friend. He said, you got to watch John Wick, it's amazing. It's got some incredible martial arts. Like, the martial arts in this film is like second to none. And I said, all right, cool, I'll check it out. And it was one of those, I kept putting it off, and he kind of beat me into submission. He's there going, listen, have you watched John Wick yet? You got to go watch it. And I said, okay, I'll download it. So I downloaded John Wick, and I watched it, and from like I said, the start...
You downloaded it legally, right?
Wait, I'm going to get to that in a moment. I'll get to that in a moment. So you cut my train of thought. Don't do that. So no, I've got the film, and I'm watching it, and from the start I'm actually really hooked. And it's hard to get hooked on a film straight away, especially one that, you know, you touch and go of actually wanting to watch.
Yeah.
So I chuck on John Wick. I'm watching it. I'm like, this is so cool. This movie is really, really cool. A couple of shock things happened at the start. Love to talk about it. I won't, because it'll spoil it. But man, when it gets into the fight scene, long story short, John Wick is, and this isn't too much of a spoiler, because you'll kind of figure it out anyway, he's a retired hitman. He's a nasty, nasty hitman, and he's basically the dude you don't want to mess with. One of my favourite quotes in this film, and again, this isn't giving anything away, because you know he's going to go in there and kick someone's ass. So he wants to get some guys, and they said, who'd you piss off? And they said, I pissed off, I don't know, some guy, I'd never really heard of him. And he said, well, someone told me you pissed this person off, is that correct? Yeah, I think that's right. What, you're saying he's the boogeyman or something? No, this is the guy we send to kill the boogeyman. And that's where the movie just goes 0 to 100. It takes off, quick. Man. John Wick, he shoots guns like he throws punches. Face is exploding, multiple shots in each hit, martial arts moves like you'd never see. UFC fighters would be jealous of the martial art move that Keanu Reeves pull out here, and it's just a really like.
Is he the Chuck Norris of this movie?
Keanu Reeves is the Chuck Norris of this movie. Keanu Reeves is a whole new category. He's John Wick. John Wick exists now through Keanu Reeves. At first, I'm thinking Keanu Reeves is an action kind of thing. Like, besides The Matrix, you know, I still see the dude from Bill and Ted.
So who wins, John Wick or John Cena?
Oh, man. Well, John Wick, he's got a variety of weapons he uses. This is the thing.
There you go.
Like, as in, he should see his signature gun. His signature gun is something that, like, James Bond would be jealous of. But it goes, like, full RPG at points and just killing fools. And if you want to see bodies go flying... it's a great film for that, and it's a lot of fun, man. It is officially my new action film. And you said, now this is the thing with downloading. This is my thing. If I genuinely like a film, I'll download it and I'll give it a go. And in this particular case, I loved it that much. The next day I went out and bought the Blu-ray.
Blu-ray there.
Because I wanted to own it. I'm like, I need this in my collection.
Yep.
I need this in my DVD and Blu-ray collection because this is that awesome of a film. I loved it. I'm definitely going to watch it again. So for me, as an action film, like if you want, I don't know what you categorize, for ratings and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to make them different. As far as an action film goes, for me it's a 5 out of 5 out of 5 as far as action film goes. 5
Mozzie bites out of 5 Mozzie bites.
But I mean, if you're a harsh critic, you'd probably give it a 3 if you're talking about a movie in
like
general.
A movie.
But if you want a hard-hitting action film, man, you're going to leave and you're watching this film and be like, that was awesome. So yeah, real fun ride.
Thrown to the peeps.
What was that, Cass Stone? Is that the intro?
Yeah, we made an intro. Like,
is that it? So that's gonna be the intro to Throwing to the Peeps?
Yep, that's it. I've got to try to remember that every time now, but you know what? It sounded pretty good to me.
Well, we did throw some questions out, or some requests for questions out to our people on Facebook, Instagram, and saying, hey, you got a question you want to ask? You want to join in the conversation? Welcome.
And it came pretty quick.
Welcome to the conversome.
Yep, that's it. Welcome to Throwing Through the Peeps.
We definitely have to change this. We have to change.
Sounds awesome. We could have like a over here. Here comes the boom.
Oh, okay, that's the start of your music.
Yeah, because Mozzie Bite beats Tomahawk as always.
Makes no sense.
Yep. Anyway, our first question.
So who we got?
We got at Nikias_10.
Oh yeah, Nikias from Instagram. How you going, man? Welcome to the conversation.
Welcome. And his question to you is, any tips on becoming a PCW wrestler when he turns 16?
Well, yeah, I guess that's the first thing to note is there is age limits for training.
Yeah.
I often get asked, hey, how old do you have to be? There's some weird thing where people always thought like, in the past there has been exceptions for like family members or people to train. Like we have had trainers once upon a time as young as like 14, possibly even younger, but they were usually related to somebody involved in wrestling or linked to someone. But for the most part, no, you definitely have to be 16 years old to train. And at PCW, as obviously Nikos is written in,
and I think he's asked the best person to ask is Trikki, as you are the head trainer down at PCW Slam Academy.
I call the shots, and I make sure that everyone gets the right information. That's the long story short. I make sure everyone gets the right information to make sure they can become the best that they deserve to be. You put in the work, you get the results.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a very interesting question. Not to say other questions aren't interesting for that matter.
Yeah.
But any tips on getting in? Because he's obviously, I'd say, under 16, so 14, 15, something along the lines of that. And yeah, I would say get yourself into classes. That's the first thing I would say. Whether it's martial arts, whether it's boxing, I don't know, whatever I've often heard people say judo or some type of grappling like jiu-jitsu is really good. Because
just like a good base start to before wrestling training.
That's correct, because you can learn how to fall, you can learn how to defend yourself, and you can also learn a lot of body contact. Not that there's really any local wrestling, as in amateur wrestling, that I know of. There used to be one in Dandenong, but they're long gone. As far as, just get yourself into a class, get yourself into martial arts, because you've got to get into the idea of the format, that you're going somewhere to learn. Because when you do turn 16, and if you do pass your assessments, and you do join the PCW Academy, then you're going to have the understanding of a class. You've got to have the understanding of, respect around as well. So, and on top of that, you want to try and be fit as well. So I wouldn't, obviously, as young as they are, I wouldn't recommend, hey, going to the gym and getting some hardcore training. But what I'd say is get accustomed doing push-ups. Get accustomed doing squats. Go for a run. If you've got a dog, take it for a run. Don't just take it for a walk.
Yeah.
Get yourself fit, because
just get ready for it.
That's the main thing. And Cass, you were actually one of the ones who started. I think just before you turned 16, there was an exception for you because you were just about to turn 16.
Yeah, I remember calling up, and I think it was a little bit different back then. Like there were a bit more. It wasn't as restricted when I started. So I think I was about 15, about to go on 16, and Ken allowed it. So
because I think it's if you're within a year or something like that, we do that.
Yeah, and
the better part of turning 16.
Yeah, I know I wasn't the.
And Mum signed off on it, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
She signed the life away.
It was Dad actually.
It was Dad. It was your dad. I remember.
Yeah, he wasn't quite sure what my own birth date was.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
And he didn't have his glasses, so he couldn't read what he was signing. But yeah, I was happy that he did, because look at where I am now, filming a Tomahawk podcast with the Mozzie bite at the end.
No, but yeah, man, it's a great question. Any tips? The tips is get yourself fit. Get yourself
Definitely
have an
so.
understanding of class. Hell, even if it's football, go play a sport. Go get an understanding how that works, because that's going to be a great fundamental base for when you're ready to join the PCW Academy.
And where can we find the PCW Academy?
www.pcwentertainment.com.
Well, our next question, it comes from Tristan Wright. I can't see it. 1239.
You can't see it because we're actually still driving. The whole podcast is going to be driving.
We're going to be on the road.
Yeah, in between what we're actually doing is when we're getting out of the car, we're cutting in between. So this podcast will probably be heavily edited, but you guys shouldn't notice that.
Yeah, because we're that good.
That good.
But the question anyway from Tristan is, what do you think of Finn Balor as the NXT champion?
Oh, Finn Balor as the champ. Well, I felt like it happened pretty quick. I mean, not Kevin Owens quick.
Yeah.
That was like ridiculous.
That was, yeah, pretty quick.
I mean, the thing with Finn Balor is they obviously see him as being a complete marketing machine. I mean, you just have to see his entrance at any of the takeovers.
It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what everyone thinks. So
even his entrance alone, just the way he works his music, the lighting,
everything, man. He's such a cool character. He doesn't even really need to wrestle for people to want to cheer him, because his entrance is that good.
Yeah, he gets this is awesome chance on his entrance alone.
Yeah. So I really think with Finn Balor, above even his wrestling, he's got the title because he's so damn marketable. You know, I think they even made those pop toys
He's
for him
larger
already.
than life.
He's larger than life, and that's what you need. And I'm not sure how actual large he is as a person. I think he's probably, 6 foot, you know?
He was slightly taller than me when I got my photo with him.
So, based on that, because he'd be about 6 foot, let's maybe a little bit shorter than 6 foot. So, yeah, it's awesome that he's got the NXT title. He seems to be NXT through and through. He's obviously been an indie worker his entire career. And not so much the American indies. He's spent his whole career, for the most part, in Japan. New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. And did you see any of his entrance from them? Like,
I've only seen photos and things like that. Posters falling in the background.
Yep.
But I wasn't huge on Finn Balor. Like, I didn't really know who he was, even when he was, somebody in Japan.
Yeah, well, I didn't know much about him.
Prince Devitt.
Until someone passed on, you should check out this guy.
But the fact that he connected with me, the fact that he's connected with the people, and the fact that the people want him to be the champion, shows that he deserves to be the champion. So that's my answer. Yes, he definitely deserves the NXT championship, and I think it's really cool.
And the next question is from Axel G.
Oh, Axel Gruen.
Yeah, there it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
And his question for us is, what inspired you to become a pro wrestler? And what keeps you motivated to keep going?
Oh, 2-part question.
Yeah, that's trying to get more bang for his buck.
That's a 2-part question there, Castone. Well, I guess I'll ask you, what was your motivation to start wrestling?
It was definitely just watching it, when watching wrestling, it's, as we were describing before with Finn Balor, it's a larger than life thing. And when I watched it, it was just like, I want to do this. And watching it constantly, it just drags you to it. And I eventually decided to knuckle down and do it.
It's actually funny. I noticed a tweet that Rip Rogers. Rip Rogers is a guy who coached me when I was at OVW in 2007 in Kentucky, and that's where Rip is based. And anyway, he put up a tweet, and it said, I saw that people are going to sue the WWE for concussions and things like that. If you can hear my indicator, I apologise for that. And he said, I'm going to hear people are going to sue the WWE for concussions. And he said, I know, as well as everyone else knows, regardless, we still would have wrestled. And I agree, 100%, because I definitely would be wrestling with or without PCW. I would have found a way. Whether it's me travelling overseas to do it and having to live overseas, or whether it's me, creating a backyard gig just so me and my friends have somewhere to play. you're gonna do it because you want to do it, because it lives inside of you. I guess it's like if you want to play a certain sport, you're gonna do it.
You're gonna do everything you can to continue playing it.
Exactly. And I think that's the most important point of all. It is it's in your blood, and you don't know it until you see it and you like it and you really want to do it. And for me, like what you said though, what did attract me to wrestling was the larger than life characters.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. You know, as far as the wrestling's concerned, I love the technical ability of someone like Bret Hart.
Yeah.
You know, I love the showmanship of a Shawn Michaels. All that kind of stuff.
And the part of it, what keeps us going? I think what keeps me going...
You've just started, man. You've just started.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've
What keeps me going?
What keeps you
I've
going
only
at this
just
point?
started. So, but yeah, a thing that would definitely keep me going is, you know, watching someone who started at NXT and how they've built their way up, or even people like Murphy and Emma who have started from somewhere in Australia and they've made it to the big scenes of WWE.
You see a future, that's what you see.
Yeah, you see the future, and you see that with hard work and dedication, you can make it in the WWE, which is where I guess a lot of people would be
the ultimate,
aiming
it's
to
the
go.
ultimate goal, man. I'd be crazy to say that that's not still an ultimate goal for me. And the thing is, what keeps me going isn't necessarily that. It's I enjoy doing it. If I don't enjoy it, if I don't enjoy doing something, I'm not going to do it. But something that I've always made sure, and even when I was younger and probably even before I should have been doing it, I made sure I was involved in the creative process of coaching. I always wanted to understand the finer lines. How can you develop something? How can you develop someone from being someone who's walked off the streets to being Mark Cage?
Yeah.
How do you have someone walk off the streets to become Cass Stone? How does this happen? And I want to be the person who knows how to do that. And it keeps me driven, because if I can get somebody to a level with others as well, coaching and all that kind of stuff, and just training, if we can get people to a certain level that I can have classic matches with them, then that's an achievement for me. And that's what does keep me going as well, is knowing that the young generation are always going to step up, and you've always got someone chasing you. Because it's funny, with someone like Mark Cage, he was chasing me for the longest time. Now I'm chasing him.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what keeps me going.
And our next question comes from Lachlan, and it is, "Hey Trikki, loving the podcast, mainly because Cass Stone's on it."
Don't know if it said that. I'm just saying.
It does.
Just saying.
I'm reading it word for word.
All right, well, I believe you. I'd say you might be changing Lachlan's words, and he might, you know, be upset about it, but that's cool.
But his question for you anyway, if you could wrestle any current WWE superstar on the roster, who would it be?
Oh, that's not fair. There's too many, isn't there?
It's
Kevin Owens. I want to wrestle Kevin Owens.
Is this because there's a bit of, you know...
Well, he blocked me.
There's tension between you and Kevin Owens.
No, the thing is... okay, this is the first thing. I want to wrestle Kevin Owens because you should always aim for the best, right? Yep. You should always call out the best. That's why I called out Colt Cabana. And we didn't get along. Me and Colt didn't get along. No, it's a fact. Me and Colt didn't get along. And I wanted to show this stupid American who thinks he's top, you know what, that I can hang with you. You know, I really can. And I know this within myself. So, yeah, if I'm gonna challenge myself against anyone, I'd love to face someone like Kevin Owens, someone who came up from the Indies, someone who understands what the grind is all about, the hard work, and the fact that it paid off for him. I do find a lot of inspiration in that. But at the same time, I also find a challenge in that, and I'd love to challenge him. I think it would be a very fun matchup. I think when you can't hit what you can't see, Kevin Owens will soon know that this is Trikki.
Cutting promos and all.
Man.
Maybe we'll get a response from Kevin Owens.
No, we won't.
No, because he blocked you, so you can't even share it to him.
No. I'm not. He had his offer. Okay, this is what happened. I made an offer to Kevin Owens. Okay, the offer was when John Cena had his nose broken, I was going to step up. I said, it's okay. Matter resolved. I'm going to step in.
When they came over to Australia.
At Rod Laver Arena. I'm going to step in at Rod Laver Arena for John Cena. And that's it. No problems. The next thing, I don't hear anything from him. Then it says blocked. Now, this is supposedly the guy who accepts challenges from everyone, right? But he's more known for running. It's true. You just see he runs from everyone. So, I withdrew my offer.
Yeah,
I withdrew my offer for Rod Laver Arena. I decided that I'd rather train with Seth Rollins.
Train with Seth Rollins.
And he missed his opportunity. So if it's going to happen, he needs to obviously look to negotiate with me. And if he wants to do it, he knows how to contact me.
All right, and our last question of the evening. Is it an evening? Yes, it's an evening.
It's an evening. Yeah, I'd call it an evening.
Is from
Evening
Carl.
drive.
And
Carl.
Yeah. And he wants to know your opinion on Hogan and Jimmy being removed from the Hall of Fame.
It's a real tough one, isn't it? Oh, because, I mean, when you look at Hogan, I don't like the fact that they've erased his whole history as if he didn't exist. You know, I think it's a real tough one because WWE are in a position where they are a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
So they have, people that obviously buy into the company. They don't want bad publicity. So anything that sort of brings bad publicity, they want to try and back away from as much as possible.
And not have it there thing to deal with.
I think that's the hardest part is when business starts crossing the personal, crossing, his legacy.
Yeah.
And the fact is, we're all going to remember Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Snuka's legacy, whether they're in a Hall of Fame or not. But it's just the fact that their name isn't in a Hall of Fame. It does, what's the word? I can't find the word. Taint is something like that.
Yeah.
Taint the legacy. And Snuka, innocent until proven guilty. So we'll have to wait and see what the outcome is there. I'm pretty sure if he's found innocent or not guilty, then he'll be back in the Hall of Fame like that. And I'm just hoping time heals everything with Hulk Hogan. He'll be back in there sooner than later.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate those questions, guys, and we encourage questions in the future for the Tomahawk Podcast. It's obviously going to try and make it as interactive as possible. I'm not going to lie, this has kind of been a bit of a difficult episode to put together because we are driving.
So, we've been driving this whole trip.
If you hear me kind of pause, as if like right now. It's probably because I'm driving and I've just got to make sure that the eyes are on the road
and we don't crash. And
and we don't. But I can trust me when I say nothing illegal is going on here because Cass Stone is
co-host
Cass Stone.
It's official now.
He's holding the voice recorder while we're going, and this has been a bit of fun. Anyway, it's made the trip go faster. Before we know it, we're pulling up the places.
Yep.
But yeah, I've got something I want to throw out to you guys. Let's play a bit of a game. I've recently seen the spelling bee on TV. You know that show that's been going on? It's almost like a sport. The kids spelling bee. It's become quite a big deal. Well,
where are you going with this?
I think it'd be kind of fun if we have our listeners send a private message to me and send a private message to you with wrestling words to spell. For example, Cass, can you spell Yokozuna?
Oh, wow.
Yokozuna, can you spell Yokozuna for me?
I'm a horrible speller as it is, though. And
that's not answering my question, though. Okay, Cass Stone, can you please spell Yokozuna? Would you like me to use it in a sentence? Yokozuna just sat on somebody.
Yokozuna
just came off the turnbuckle and sat on somebody.
Oh god. Is there... Oh, I should really Google this.
Can you please give us a first letter?
I'm going with Y.
Yes!
And that's where I end this game. I don't want to play this game.
Can you please give me a second letter?
Yo, Y-O? You?
Keep going. You. Okay. Wrong.
Alright, spell it for me, Trikki.
Yokozuna.
There you have it.
Oh, now this is to trick the spelling, Cass.
Yep.
Yo. You actually did it. You got it right. Yo, and then ko. Yoko. K-O.
Yep.
Like Kevin Owens. K-O. Yoko. Zuna. Z. Not Z-O-O. Please don't spell it Z-O-O. Zoo? Z-U.
I don't like this game already.
Z-U-N-A. Nah. Not H on the end. Nah. Yokozuna. If you can't spell Yokozuna, I'm going to be cracking up laughing when somebody sends me Isaac Yankem DDS
Yep, look, and this is where we wrap it up. And
So get those ones through to me, and
please don't. Just send them all to me, and I'll give Trikki some words to spell.
Perhaps this is going to end in a massive fizzle, and it just never happens.
Yep, Cass isn't going to play this game.
Welcome to the show, Cass. You're official co-host, and you're blowing it.
And we're wrapping it up.
We're wrapping it up. Is this it?
This is it, because I've had enough of this spelling bee game.
Man, it's been a fun podcast. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, because
it's been something different.
It's been something different, and it's made our trip go so quick.
Yeah, well, like
we said hello to the people in Dingley. We then went through and saw the lovely people of Yarraman.
Yep.
Passed through Dandenong. Saw a bit of lovely Doveton on the way.
And then ended at Hallam.
Hallam, that's right. Bought some pinkies. Some New Zealand favourite. Cass put me onto these bars.
Pinkies.
These chocolate bars. They're like 50% less fat, and which is pretty cool because it's hard to find stuff that tastes good and doesn't have much fat in it.
Yep.
And he's found these ones got pinkies, and they're from New Zealand, and it's essentially like marshmallow, a little bit of caramel,
yeah,
some chocolate out on the outskirts. So it's nice with the morning tea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you have? Do you have peppermint tea?
No, I just have tea.
Oh, you have to normal tea?
Yeah, just normal tea.
No, I have peppermint tea. That's not bad.
Doesn't matter
I have a
what
little
tea
bit
you have. Because...
Are you related to the Rock as well, apparently?
I probably am. You know what? Down the line, I am.
This has been the Tomahawk Podcast. It's been a fun one. Hopefully we have more of these down the line. Hope you'd enjoyed it.
And don't forget, Carnage, September 12th.
Oh yeah, Carnage, September 12th. Chris Trio. We're coming for you, brother.
And Hallam on September the 19th, Slam 134.
34.
And there's a main event you need to announce.
Oh!
Because
dude,
I want to find out who
that.
is going to be in my match.
I'm so glad you said that. That's right, because
myself, I still don't know who's in this main event this weekend on Slam.
People listening to the podcast who are like, were they?
I wanted to find out about this main event.
Were they honeydicking us before? What's going on? Yeah, okay, look, let's announce it, man. The main event.
I don't know who's in it.
Not the main event, not to my knowledge anyway. Troy Alexander puts the shows together, but it's an announced match. It's going to be Wake versus Ryan Rapid. The winner of that goes on to the ladder match at Destiny.
Two names that like...
Dude, Wake is a
Ryan
nutcase.
Rapid did an upset win on Wake last weekend.
That's right, and apparently Troy Alexander saw the tape back and said, we've got to get this match happening because this guy's proven something to me, and Wake's already proven enough. So let's see if he can win and get into the ladder match.
And then so whoever goes on will join me and two others on October 31st at Destiny.
Halloween, remember that.
So this has been a very awesome episode of the Mozzie Bite and Tomahawk Podcast.
If you're going to be a co-host, get it right, Cass.
It's the Mozzie Bite and Tomahawk Podcast.
How much am I paying you?
A lot.
Absolutely nothing. And that's why. Because this is the Tomahawk Podcast. I'm Trikki and you're not.
Oh. But I'm the Mozzie Castone.
That's where we cut it. We cut it right here. Right here. Thanks for listening.
No.